All right. Welcome to the first episode of Terra Nova Saturday morning podcast. I'm your host, Sabian Ruffin, and this is my guest speaker today, Megan McGillicuddy. Good morning, Megan. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just great. I'm ready to get on down the cases and talk about what's going on today up in the sky.
There's quite a bit going on.
Oh yes, it's, it is undeniably spicy up there.
Ooh,
Where
spicy is a good word.
Yeah, where shall we lead today? Shall we start off with the very transient moon squares to basically everything right now?
The moon's a great place to start because it's so close to us here on Earth, and it's so full these days.
Hey, yeah, we just got done with the corn moon, full moon in Pisces, as it were. I'm telling you,
Lucky us.
yeah, I'm telling you, I could like feel the surge in empathy from just a full moon in Pisces. You know, like
Lord
there's
knows we need a surge in empathy. Thank you for that.
oh, I wholeheartedly agree. Just a The webcam seems to be hanging off the edges. They're just, oh no, it's right where it needs to. Okay, I
Excellent.
just got thrown off by the yeah. So let's see here. Sun is in good spirits right now. The only thing that's really wrong with it is an opposition to Neptune. But what can you expect from Virgo, really? Like Neptune's in its home world at the moment. Now, I will say
I
this about that though. If you want to take a look at everything that's going on right now, we have a lot of Capricorn, we have a lot of cardinal energy in the sky.
yes,
The
yes,
Sun and Mercury's entrance into Virgo, uh,
yes,
not only does that signal the start of the introduction of some mutable energy of this cardinal energy, it also signals the first time in quite some time that personal planets have been agreeing with generational social planets,
yes,
especially
yes.
with them being in Earth signs as
But being that they're in earth signs, I'm not going to expect a lot of immediate action or change because everybody's in an earth sign right now.
oh yeah, the Earth signs are. Excuse me for one moment. I forgot to get more water before we started this first episode, everybody. So working through
We're learning.
working
We're
through the
all learning
pumpkins, but
together.
it's gonna go good.
We're all learning together as this works out. Well, until he gets back. When Mercury goes into Libra, then we'll have an air sign.
I definitely need that water because Meg and I sat here for about a good hour beforehand, actually talking about stuff, and now here we
Yes,
are. We're finally on the stage. We're a little bit
yes.
frightened, but I'm more than confident we're gonna see this through the long way. Isn't that right?
I think you're doing great.
Yeah, gonna be but yeah, the thing about Earth energy is definitely a have you done your homework kind of energy. Like how you said, it's not intended to move. It's just
Hmm.
a matter of well, what you see is what you get, and what you've done, what you reap is what you sowed. That's how
That's literally it. That is everything that we're all living through right now. We are reaping what we have sown in past years, especially because Saturn is going through Capricorn. I think a lot of us are learning life lessons that we didn't necessarily intend to learn.
absolutely like whenever Saturn is transiting through its nice domicile like that,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it definitely becomes one of those sorts of experiences where Saturn is asking, oh, have you done the work?
Exactly. Exactly. And for the people who have done the work, they may even be feeling like a sigh of relief from like the idea of, "Oh, okay. all of this that I've been putting in really did matter. It really does add up to something. If you're in
Absolutely.
that situation, give yourself a pat on the back. If you've done the work and you're reaping the rewards of that now, it's okay to give yourself a pat on the back for that and appreciate yourself and your own efforts.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you because you 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 have a lot of Libra in your chart.
Mm, that I
I
do.
have
That I do.
yours is more uh social and generational than
Mm.
mine. Still have Mars there. I have Moon rising in Venus, and I'll tell you that all of this Capricorn energy, all of this Earth
Oh,
energy, it's just been an absolute affront, really. And
I can imagine.
yeah, and all of my Libra energy might be toward the start of Libra.
Mm.
Like most of my Libra placements don't go any further than 15 degrees Libra. So they're mostly outside of the danger zone. The most harmful thing that I'm experiencing right now is some disagreements with Jupiter and some disagreements with very, very mild disagreements with Pluto, but I can still definitely feel it because
Mm.
the the place where Libra and Capricorn really square, like the biggest point of contention between Capricorn and Libra is that Capricorn is an energy of ethics, not morals. Capricorn doesn't really, as an archetype, care whether or not something is good or evil. It cares whether or not the proper channels have been gone through, the proper paperwork has been filed. And
Yes.
Libra is like, well, that ain't fair. And Capricorn's like, I don't care.
The Capricorn Corporation. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a funny little rhyme there. Libra says it ain't fair. Capricorn says I don't care.
It's cute. It's cute. But Mercury's coming into Libra, so they're gonna have that conversation this month. And
Oh
that makes it
yeah,
extra spicy.
oh yeah. We're definitely gonna be because you see what I'm seeing right now is that Mercury has been getting the Capricorn side of the story from the universe because it's been trining.
Mm-hmm.
It recently exited trine with Jupiter. It's still
Right.
disseminating a trine with Saturn, and it's still disseminating a trine with Pluto there. But
Yes.
so yeah, it's really getting the Capricorn side of the story right now, and in Mercury's home of homes, co-ruler and exaltation in Virgo, you can rest assured that Mercury, being the ruler of our thought processes and our communication, is
Yes.
asking these generational planets to spare no detail as to why the heck things are going on as they are right now. And
Yes.
once
And
Mercury moves, go ahead.
With Mercury opposite the moon the way it was there, when the moon was in Pisces and it's going from Pisces to Aries, I think that might have had an effect on it too.
I, and you know how I personally like to think of oppositions. They both desire,
Absolutely.
yeah, they both desire to get the same thing done because they are on the same axis. However,
Mhm.
they disagree on methods and they inject a lot of energy into uh, achieving the same goal, which causes quite a bit of a power mashup, if you will.
I like how you say that, power mashup. Yes.
Yeah, like
Yes.
instead of a T-bone crash, it's a real head-on collision of energies, and really the outcome is less
Mhm.
predictable because it's like we both have the same urge to do the thing here, but we just disagree on it. So double energy, double the need to actually make the thing happen. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And since we're on the topic of oppositions, later this month we're going to have that between Mercury and Mars. The same goal, the same desire for an end goal, but it's going to be a different way of getting there.
yeah, like from what you're saying there, that tells me two things.
Okay.
One, we need to make sure that whenever it comes to paperwork,
Mhm.
uh, that we're doing our paperwork correctly, because Mercury is all about paperwork, being that it's all about communication. Um,
Yes.
let me just go into my astro files here, and because I'm looking at everything over on horoscopes.astroseek.com, and I
Mm.
want to also look at it from a different 5
And
September.
I've skipped ahead just a little bit to a few weeks away, the end of the month where Mercury and Mars are going to be in opposition. They're not quite there yet, so I've skipped ahead a bit, and I did want to talk about that T square that's going on right now.
I think I
It,
hit the tab button and triggered something on my.
First
Oh,
episode.
first episode, y'all. But yes, skipping ahead. I like it. I like it when the team scouts ahead. And you said you wanted to talk about
Right.
the T square, right?
Well, the T square is happening right now, and I wouldn't mind talking about that if you're open to it. I think that's really important.
Oh, let's talk about that absolute belligerence. You remember
Yes.
you remember me describing it as that, right? Belligerent.
The belligerent Mars and the exasperated Venus.
Yeah, like they just up
Yes.
there fighting everybody and their grandma.
Uh-huh. Capricorn Corporation is in there opposing Venus, telling her what to do. Nobody wants to be told what to do. Nobody.
Nobody likes being bossed and bullied around. Uh,
True story.
let's see what we got here.
So we do
Okay,
kind of have a pressure cooker happening between personal planets and generational planets.
and
It's
there's
I almost see it as like the difference between what I want and what people in my life want for me.
that's definitely one, and you can see the disagreements between generational and personal being
So
reflect.
true.
Yeah, it's literally reflected in actual live generational differences right now.
Yes, in conversations at the dinner table, if I may go so far as to say.
Yeah.
What times, what crazy times. I've been telling people who come to me for advice, I've just been telling them do the best you can to stay on your own path with your own I strategy because the world has its own plans and we have to live within this somehow. This T square between Venus, Mars, and Saturn, it's not going to solve itself, but it will. The pressure will lighten over the course of the next week, maybe. So if you feel pressure right now, it's 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 a real thing. It's out there.
Yeah, if you look throughout history, Mars squares Saturn has produced some of the most controversial and destructive figures in the history of the world. So
Oof.
I wouldn't be surprised if quite a few
Mm-hmm.
people being born, especially if they're being born right now at 9:16 9:18 Central Daylight Time. These
Mm.
are people who are going to be very uneasy and have very lots of challenges in their sets. Like
Mm.
I jokingly say, "Oh, I shouldn't have got into astrology. I'm gonna be because if I ever have kids, I'm gonna try to astrologically engineer a baby. You know, be ready like 9 months in advance. Be like, okay, 9 months down the road, um, Jupiter gonna be in Capricorn. I ain't trying to have no
Hey
kids, no
now.
Jupiter and Capricorn kids.
Hey now.
Not the
Whole cultures have scheduled their children around astrology. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
yeah.
It's okay.
'Cause
They look
I've
at the birth records in China for Chinese astrology, and more people have children in 1 year and not in another year because that's a year of I
good
don't know
luck
Chinese
and
astrology.
fortune.
Right, exactly. Or if it's a year of struggle, they choose not to have children that year. We are not the only ones.
Yeah, Mars square. So to dissect this T
Yes,
square and to
please.
talk about what it actually means, Mars squaring Saturn is when because Mars is our personal masculine, our lesser malefic, and
Yes.
it's
Mhm.
our pursuits, our ambitions, how we go out and get things, and how we respond to things in anger.
Yes.
And so, whenever it's squaring Saturn, let's look at the context here. So we have Mars at 26 Aries. Ooh, mine is at 26 Gemini. It's actually at 26 right on the dot as we speak, as of 9:15.
Mm.
And it is, let's see, is it disseminating or applying? It is currently disseminating a Dexter square. That means
Ooh.
that the sign of the faster moving planet is a sign that comes before the sign of the slower moving. If you're looking at it like it's a clock, Aries would be 12 o'clock, and then Capricorn would be something.
3 o'clock, nine
Brain
o'clock,
for yeah. Capricorn would be 9 o'clock. Yeah.
9 o'clock.
So
Thank you.
so
And three
it's
o'clock would be where Venus is in Cancer.
correct. Yeah,
All right.
I had the biggest brain poop imaginable. I like like
I'm here for you.
like the Windows noises came on and everything. Like bloop. Yeah.
The screen
And
that I'm looking at on my computer with the transits has uh Capricorn sitting at 6 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock. Um,
yeah, I
so
don't
that's
have
how.
this one physically configured to like on my screen Saturn's at the bottom of the wheel, so that would be at six
That's where
o'clock.
mine is too. Right, that's where mine is.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking to myself, because Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, all that. But yeah, though. So
So
the
if we
point,
put Aries at 12 o'clock, then Capricorn would be at 9.
right.
I got you. And
So
Cancer would be at 3. And cat and yes.
yeah. So back to the whole point, though, with Mars square Saturn, Aries is an energy of I want it and I want it right now.
Mm,
And Capricorn is an energy of, well, have you done your homework? Have you done all of
right.
the necessary labor to make it happen? Because Capricorn is all about delayed gratification. Capricorn is the bank, you put something in, you don't have it for a while, it gathers interest, and then you harvest it later. And
Yes.
Aries is a more prepaid kind of pay as you go, do it as you go kind of
Yes.
energy.
Mhm.
So when you have these two energies butting heads, especially in their home planets on their home field, so to speak, it'd be like if it was somehow possible to have a football game where both teams are somehow on their home field. So it's a very intense head, but I would say that this type of
Yes.
Mars square Saturn is more intense than any other Mars square Saturn that we're gonna see anytime soon.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
and then over here we have Venus, and the way that I've heard Capricorn and Cancer described is Cancer dreams of uh the cozy little crib in the country with two children, maybe three. And
Mm,
Capricorn says, well, that's nice, but how are we going to pay the bills to make it happen? So,
right.
Venus being our ruler of not just what we hold beautiful, but what we hold worthy of possessing, what we desire, is in a it
Yes.
being in a water sign. It's in a much more dreamy state right
Yes.
now, and
Yes.
Saturn is 100% in a practical state right now. So Venus square Mars is an indicator of we want something and we hold something valuable. But our method of
Yes.
pursuing this valuable thing may be something that can be very harsh and off putting. And then Venus's opposition to Saturn. Oh, what was that? You following me
You
here?
see my face, right?
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
made me think that since it's in opposition to Saturn, since Saturn is part of this pattern too, there could also be an indication of someone, if someone's been up to bad things, um kind of getting the reward of that as well in the form of a consequence.
Yeah.
That's
Saturn
what
is
made me
very
think of it.
karmic. Saturn is very karmic, and when Saturn
Right.
opposes something, it becomes very watchful of that thing. Like,
That's what I Yes, that's where I was going with that. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, like Saturn opposite in many ways is like Saturn conjunct, except
Hmm.
Saturn conjunct carries the caveat of being right there on the spot to make it serious. Like it'd be the say that you're working in an office setting and you're
Hmm.
in a traditional cubicle or something like that. Saturn conjunct is when your supervisor is directly over your shoulder. You know to act right because he's right there over your shoulder,
Yes.
but and you know you don't really feel comfortable doing anything. But when Saturn is opposing, it's like Saturn is down the hallway. Like you may not even know that Saturn's watching you, but Saturn knows that he's watching you. So
And
you
it's
might
almost more uncomfortable because you're not openly aware that you're being watched, but you kind of feel like you're being watched. So it's almost incredibly uncomfortable to know that they're not right there
the
in the
scopophobia is
opposition.
real.
Thank you. That's
Fear
the
of
word.
being
That's the word of the day.
fear of being watched. And then
Word of the day.
yeah, and then when you get Saturn square anything, it's like you're working at a place and your manager or whoever's over you is just a complete jerk to you. Like you want to go on lunch break right now. They're like, nah, you can't go
Yes.
on lunch break right now. Or I want
For
a
no
raise. No,
reason.
you can't get no raise. Yeah,
For
just for
no reason.
like they just doing it because they just you know what? I don't like that guy over there, so we're just
It's
gonna
cruel. It's just cruel. Between
yeah.
Capricorn and Aries, it's just cruel.
And with the temporary injection of the
Mm,
moon into
mm,
uh this mix, this T square mix, that's a very powerful emotional injection into this
very.
mix. So my message for anybody who feels for I don't know where these flyers be I don't keep my house dirty. I will literally take this webcam and walk up through this place as far as the cord goes with you. I don't keep, but like the split second, I open my door for 0.27 seconds. And they're like, "Ooh, this is some air that I've never felt before in my life. I'm gonna come up in this house and I'm gonna make Sabian's life a little bit less comfortable. I'm gonna have his head start itching and going on." Because he's like, oh shoot, is that where that fly? Don't suck my blood. Don't be making them bumps up on me, them uncomfortable little sores when you putting your doggone nose eating thing up on me, you crazy little. And I already got done playing a video game a couple days ago that made me really, really upset with them flying blood sucking sons of guns. We're not even going into that right now. Point of the matter is a short takeaway
Welcome back.
about yeah, yeah, yeah. Short takeaway right now, especially with the moon. Moon is
Hmm.
stepping in on the side of Mars right now. It's like if you see a three-way fight and some guy in the crowd just randomly hands somebody a bottle to throw at somebody or
For
brings it.
real. Yes.
That
Absolutely.
that's what Moon and Aries because
No, because
Moon and
Moon's going
Aries.
into Aries and it's moving right through it. Right through it. It's going to be conjunct Mars pretty soon, too.
Yeah, like Moon and Aries, like the most impulsive moon imaginable. Like, I'm sorry, Meg. You thought that your moon and Leo had that stuff dead to rights. Oh my God, no, Moon and Moon
Ooh.
and Aries. So like, but yeah, if I can offer anybody a word of encouragement right now, it would be
Mm,
to say this that you're gonna feel right now that a lot of the things that you're trying to do in life are being thwarted or delayed or otherwise redirected in one sense of the word or another. You're gonna
right,
want
right.
certain things and you gotta be careful because it's all too easy right now for our expressions of what we want to not
Ooh.
match up with what we want.
Yes.
And you're gonna be with the lunar injection here. You're gonna definitely it's gonna be all too easy to get frustrated and lose your cool in response to not getting what you want when you want it in the way that you want. So I
Mhm.
strongly advise everyone to um take it slow emotionally right now. I know that in my
Mhm.
personal case, one of the things that takes me off a lot is if I'm in traffic, for example, and the speed limit's 45 and I'm seeing people doing 30 and 35 in both lanes. I'm like, bruh,
Come on now.
people
Come
got
on
play.
now.
And then stopping at the yellow lights when it's clear, when the coast is clear. I'm like, listen, I was 6 years old when they changed over the traffic lights so that they don't instantly change anymore. Do you remember that? Don't you, like how?
I do. I do.
I'm like, come on
I
now.
still stop at yellow lights though.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess it's ingrained in you at this point.
It's so ingrained.
You gotta understand us young people. We getting impatient as hell.
I'm so much older. I'm so sorry.
Ain't that much like I couldn't tell it looking on the camera. No, I'm talking about like everybody.
Oh,
We
very
doing,
kind of you. Very kind of you.
yeah, like we
Yeah.
had the conversation beforehand. Like you was worried about how you was gonna be looking on the camera. I'm like, shoot, it's gonna be all right. Shoot, we got.
I
I
was
get,
worried. I am worried. First episode.
shoot, I'm worried. Like I'm sitting up here. I'm going like, what's all this up? All that up there? You know what I'm saying? But like, that's just called Saban needs to get some sleep.
Can I tell the nice people that I can't even see you right now? That I'm looking at myself on the camera and my computer off the camera.
Oh, yeah. Like you would literally have to like have the live stream open right now and mute it on a separate device in order to
Which I do
see.
not.
Yeah, that'd be kind of a thing. I
First
don't know how.
episode fun.
Yeah, first up, that's definitely a challenge I'll have to get worked out in future episodes.
Mhm.
But
All
yeah,
right. So shall we back to the planets?
yes, back all the way
Moon and
back to the
Aries.
planet. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, because right now Moon is square Venus, it's conjunct Mars, and it's squaring. So about
Ooh.
Moon square Jupiter, the thing I like
Yes.
about Jupiter is that Jupiter is basically the Santa Claus of the planet. Like
Okay.
Jupiter
I feel
is.
like you're about to break my heart. I feel like you're building up my hopes for Santa Claus, and it's about to get dashed. I'm
Oh,
listening.
oh no! Don't worry. I'm not about to break your hopes here. I'm about to add a sense of sobriety to it without breaking the hopes.
Okay.
So the thing about Moon Square Jupiter is that it's still a good time. It's still that Jupiter. Whenever something squares Jupiter, that is that planet disagreeing with how, when, why, where, and what Jupiter brings. Like Jupiter is still bringing what it's bringing regardless. And right now, Jupiter in Capricorn in retrograde, it's really only bringing. It's still bringing gifts, but it's only really bringing things to people who have done the inner retrograde work Capricorn. People who have kind of
Understood.
prepared or are in the mood to prepare for things, and that
Yes.
requires a little bit of forethought. And Moon in Aries is not a particularly forethinking kind of energy. So
Understood. And if there was a piece of advice you could give to somebody out there in the world who's really feeling this, who's feeling like they did not prepare, they weren't ready, and they want to be more ready when Moon opposes Jupiter pretty soon, what can they do? What can you tell them?
I would tell them, that's interesting. What would I tell them? I would tell them that just because you have not prepared just yet, that does not mean to throw all good things to the wayside and
I like
just
that.
and forsake anything of value. You need to go ahead and you need to get back in your field, and you
Mhm.
need to get back to planting your seeds, and you need to get back to getting things in order, because the thing about a Capricorn dominant sky is that the longer as individuals we remain
Okay.
unfocused,
Ooh.
unprepared, and
Okay.
disorganized, the worse things are going to be for us. On a daily basis, the universe is
Yes.
giving us opportunity, after opportunity to uh, get things ready for ourselves and to
Hmm.
show the universe, hey, I want to do things a little bit differently than I used to. I don't want to repeat the same cycle. I want to make things better for me. Because Capricorn is a very karmic energy as well, being that it rules Saturn. And Saturn is really the main disseminator of our karma. Like like Pluto and Saturn, Pluto is just
Hmm.
kind of breakdancing to the violence in the background, and Saturn's like, well, things will stop being such crap when you start putting in the work that you're supposed to.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Ouch.
like I've.
I just feel so heavy. I feel like this is so heavy so right now.
Oh, I'm sorry
And
that.
I mean, not necessarily for me personally. I just feel like this whole Capricorn Corporation and the T square that we have going on today um is just it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure between action and emotion and what we've done in the past.
Yeah,
It's a lot of pressure. If you're feeling pressured out there in the world, it's probably not just you.
yeah,
It's not
didn't.
just you.
Yeah, one of the things that I wanted to talk about before it was too late. I'm looking through the notes that you provided here. Got the T
Hmm.
square, which we just got done talking about.
Hmm.
Ooh, gracious. See that? That's what I appreciate you about you, Meg. You definitely you take some good notes and you definitely listen.
I
Let's see.
really like the way you put things. I like the way you say things between the exasperated Venus and the belligerent Mars and the Capricorn Corporation. We do have a lot going on in the sky right now. September is not a month that will pass unnoticed,
Oh
and we're only in
Lord,
the
no.
first week.
Like
So if so like if we're not prepared yet, this is your chance. This is the opportunity. Start getting prepared.
you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. If you ain't ready, get ready.
Get ready.
As if you
Whew.
need us to tell you that
You didn't need
when
us.
we've had,
You knew.
yeah, you've had 9 months of crap going on, maybe even more than that. So
Right.
it's gonna
Right.
the months going the months start coming and they don't start coming, don't stop coming. You know what I'm saying?
They don't
Like,
stop. They don't stop. And speaking of how things don't stop, Venus is moving. It's going from Cancer into Leo tomorrow. Tomorrow the 5th, the 6th. Tomorrow the 6th, Venus goes from Cancer into Leo.
mm. And it's still going to be very loosely opposing Saturn for quite some time.
Yes.
There's gonna be the very early passion that passionate nova, that passionate spark that comes in when you
Mm.
enter into Leo, but Saturn's in late Capricorn, like old money kind of. So it's just sitting there like,
Mm-hmm.
well, curb your enthusiasm there, buddy.
Hey, but self-expression wants to happen. Leo's all about self-expression.
Yeah, and
Paint your nails, do your hair, do something fun.
absolutely. And eventually it's gonna reach trine with it's gonna reach trine with Mars. You know, we're gonna come up on a
Yeah.
time, especially as Mars enters retrograde, Mars is gonna go back to squaring Jupiter and it's gonna
Mm.
tighten the square to Saturn. But we're
Yeah.
at the very least, we should as Venus trots along through Leo and as Aries is backtracking, as Mars is backtracking through Aries, we should experience a point sooner than later where Venus trines Mars. That's a very good personal placement because that when Venus is trine Mars in your personal chart, that
Mm.
means that what you hold valuable and what you find beautiful, the way that you love, is in lockstep with with your way of going about pursuing things, like how you want what you want. And it creates
Hmm.
this sort of, it creates a beauty to the anger, even sort of. That's going to be a very
That
powerful
is
personal
nice.
placement. Yeah, especially in fire signs like this, like when a Venus trine Mars person, both signs are in fire, and Mars is in
Hmm.
Aries. When that person gets passionate, there is a very congruent beauty to it. Like that, it's something that just kind of
Yes.
works together. I,
Yes. I think it's
I,
going to help us too with Mercury going into Libra. So we'll have a nice fire sign trine and we'll have something in an air sign finally.
yeah,
So
because
so
people
that
haven't been
might
able to
give us a little
breathe.
bit of relief. For real, I need to breathe.
I,
I feel
I
like there's going to be a lot more expression than action.
I certainly haven't been. I I feel like air energy, when it is well aspected, brings relaxation compared to
Ooh.
earth energy when it is well aspected brings. And I don't want to say this negatively per se, but it brings like a stagnation, because you know what earth, you know how
Because it's
earth,
about comfort. It's about
yeah,
comfort.
when
Understood.
when earth energy is well aspected and it's all good and well, it's like, hey, I have the
Mm.
material things necessary to live life as I do, therefore
Mhm.
I'm not interested in changing
Mhm.
anything.
Yes.
So there's less curiosity there, but air energy is something that's always naturally curious. So when air energy is well aspected, it allows for that ventilation, and it
Mhm.
allows for that pursuit of change and that curiosity. So that's going to be coming up uh real soon too.
Mhm.
I would like to save most of the Mars in retrograde topic for
Mm.
Frank Lynch when he comes onto the podcast next week, because I
Excellent.
forgot when I did the graphics, when I did the media kit for this week's podcast, I forgot to change the topic title on our graphic, the one for you and me,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oops!" But first episode issues.
First episode.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to add an SXR Media logo somewhere. I'm gonna have to add in ad
Mhm.
space. Go try to get some sponsorships. Like I was thinking about it all the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because even though it is past now, Mercury for quite some time was very well aspected to just about anything in the sky. Like if I a couple of
Mm.
days ago, Mercury was trying Jupiter, it's still trying Saturn, it was trying Uranus. It was just in very good aspect to just about
Mhm.
everything in the sky. So I was like, wait a minute. Because I had even cast an orrery because I wanted to know whether or not I could be a successful drop shipper. I was like,
Nice.
uh,
Nice.
yeah, it's about building that business, building that revenue, and
Absolutely.
yeah, I thought about it and I was like, you know what? This is a great time whenever Mercury is well aspected, that is a
Mhm.
great time to start some new paperwork. And whenever
True.
Mercury is poorly aspected, that's a time where you have to
Mhm.
be careful with already existing paperwork.
Right. Right.
Let's see what else we have here in your notes. Oh, Mercury entering Scorpio down the way down in October.
Um. Yep. Down in October. That's something we can plan for way, way ahead. But I think we've got quite a bit happening just in September.
That September, like I said, September is, and like you said, September is just going to be a very very spicy month.
Mhm.
Right now we have North
Absolutely.
Node squaring Mercury, between
Do we?
Venus and
Ooh.
Gemini. Yeah,
Oh yes, we do.
that kind of speaks to the mercurial nature of Gemini and Virgo, because as far as I know, Mercury is the only planet whose co-rulers actually square each other, archetypically speaking. Gemini and Virgo.
It feels well suited for Mercury. Very
Abs-
mercurial, adaptive, changeable.
Absolutely, because one side's cold as ice and the other side's hot as HE double hockey sticks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'll
What a
tell you,
world.
as a person who has natal Mercury tightly squaring his north node, I would say to
Okay.
everyone, be very careful right now of time getting away from you.
Ooh.
Be very careful right now of losing track of time.
Mm.
You like with the North Node in Gemini. By the way, North Node in Gemini. That in Vedic astrology, North
Yes.
Node of the Moon actually has rulership in. Actually, no, not rulership. Exaltation
Mm-hmm.
in Gemini.
Rahu.
Yeah, it actually has
Yes.
exalt. Give me just 1 second.
But in Vedic astrology right now, it's in Taurus. It's on its way into Gemini, or it's coming from Gemini going into Taurus.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. And so we have two powerful exalted energies here that are
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
that are kind of simultaneously agreeing and disagreeing.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it's
So I would say anything if you're starting paperwork or anything that has to do with communications, first episodes of podcasts, expect the unexpected.
absolutely,
There are things that you can prepare for, and there are things you will never be able to prepare for, and that's okay too.
absolutely. Also, I will tell you the one last thing I would like to say before I go, because you know I love my nodal astrology. And
Of
I
course.
I have to kind of cut the live short due to emergency reasons, but I'm gonna say, yeah, and I would say this one last thing. Right now, with the North Node square Neptune, be careful of the karma that you will generate
Ooh.
by what you manifest and by what spells you cast. If you're a person who's into voodoo,
Mm,
Santeria, anything that involves
mm-hmm.
manifestation through
Candle
magic,
work.
yes, be very, very careful
Mm,
right now. I would not recommend doing anything other than personal protection work, inner work right
mm-hmm.
now. If somebody
Mm-hmm.
flipped you off, don't go cast a hex on them. If
Yes.
somebody was mean to you, don't even worry about it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the North
There's
Node
so
is
much
square,
going on right now.
yeah, when the North Node squares Neptune, you're gonna have a lot of past life, uh, a lot of things that you've done regarding manifestation and generosity in the past are going to kind of resurface, and you're going to have to learn to not do that again. But either way, though, Megan, thank you so much for joining me on the live
Thank
today.
you.
I have to cut it short. Thank you
Yes.
all for joining me on the podcast, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
This has been great. Thank you.